Hey there, YouTube, everybody out there. Um, I got a couple of suggestions for veterans or anybody really that's over like 60 years old. So when you're 60, actually, even when you're 50, things start to feel a little weird, you know. Sometimes it could be like mobility issues um, and just basically functioning. Sometimes that can get a little difficult. So what I've done is I've figured out a couple of ways that work for me that might work for you um, to work on that. And I also have realized that some of us that grew up back in the 70s, 80s, and then started kind of chilling out in the 90s. That a lot of the attitudes towards certain things were a lot more lax than they are now, as far as being aware of certain behaviors that may cause problems down the road. Um, Obviously, one of the big problems is smoking cigarettes. That was huge back in the 80s and 70s, and it started kind of tapering down, in the 90s. But for those of us who smoked during those times um, and are now 60 years old, are probably running into some health issues because of lifestyle uh, situations. Um, so the purpose of this video here is just to kind of talk about that and what can we do as people over 60 and specifically veterans. I was in the Marine Corps from 1981 to 1985. And then I was also in the United States Navy Reserves from 1988 to 1990. So during that time, um, I basically worked a lot, but I also picked up some ridiculous habits, just like a lot of us did back in the day. So what I've learned um, in the last few years is that making huge changes does not work. If you say, okay, I'm going to change this overnight, I'm going to quit smoking overnight, I'm going to lose weight overnight, it never works. Um, so for me personally, I got to the point where I got up to about 300 pounds, and my doctor told me that you have diabetes, um, and that was a wake up call. And then some other issues, with aging and stuff like that. So I really didn't want all this to, my past or everything else to dictate exactly how my life was going to go. So what I did was I did some small changes. Number one was to quit smoking, which I transitioned over to doing a vape, which helped me quit the smoking. And another thing that I changed was I cut out all the processed breads. I cut out, um, cereals not doesn't do you any service either. But when you get older, when you're young you can handle it, but when you get older you just can't. It doesn't work. So, and I also started incorporating into my daily routine since I'm retired, walking routine. I started out at about a mile a day, and I've worked up to about 4 to 5 miles a day walking um, daily, in the park. Sometimes I'll ride my bike too. It all depends on what I want to do. That's the beauty of getting older, is that our time is our time. But the problem is that a lot of our mindset thinks back to the way we were always. For me in the Marine Corps, you're kind of used to being told what to do, and then you're like a robot and you just do it. I went through electrical school, did 4 years of electrical school, and so I was basically no offense to the trade. I think getting into a trade is a beautiful thing. It changed my life in 4 years to like you wouldn't believe. But the the trades was hard on the body, and when I retired, my thinking was still like, okay, well, what do I do now? Because I was used to everybody telling me what to do, you know. So what I'm getting at is at this point now I'm at the stage, you're at the stage of what do I do with myself? And a lot of us end up in this repetitive behaviors of I don't know what to do. Somebody tell me what to do because I have no idea what to do. So doing little small changes, waking up, going walking, have helped me. I've lost a considerable amount of weight from just doing the walking um, and riding the bicycle. Basically, trying to do the things that make me happy instead of doing the things that I think I should be doing. Because there's a whole lot of, well, I should go take care of this, or I'd better go do this, or something's going to happen, you know, that kind of stuff. And that is kind of an old age way of thinking. But at the same time, it's hard for us as older people, over 60, to really change our behaviors. And then at the same time, it's hard not to be judgmental about the way other people live their lives. So you can end up spending a lot of time just judging people, just saying, "Oh, well, look at the way they're doing that." So I'm choosing, and I've been doing this for a few years now, is to try to take control of what I can over my life, and basically just incorporating walking into my daily routine. It's free; it doesn't cost you anything. You get a good pair of shoes for $40, 50 bucks. They'll last you 6 months. You could walk them into the ground. Um, and it's you do it, and then another thing I've done is I changed to eating, focusing on eating mostly at home instead of going out and buying all the processed crap that they sell all the time, which doesn't do you any good. Salads is a good way to even start the day. I try to eat like a salad a day. In the morning, I'll eat a salad. Low calorie dressing. Been using a lot of oil and vinegar, vinaigrette, that kind of stuff. Staying away from like the blue cheese and the ranch dressing. Um, and eating protein. Chicken is really good protein. Beef's good protein. Um, a lot of these things you guys probably already know. And staying away from like candy, I don't know what it is, but you get older and you're like, yeah, give me some candy, you know. I love a good uh, atomic fireball. But for your teeth, that doesn't do you too good for your teeth either. But the main thing that I take away on this, I think, is learn exercise. You get out there, you meet other people. I can't tell you how many people I know when I'm out there walking, right, in passing. You just wave to them and stuff like that. Sit and talk to them for a minute. Um, but it does a lot for your self-esteem. It gets you out of the house, gets you out of the funk. Worrying about this, worrying about that, and it's something that's in your control. I highly recommend it because I know how it is to get in a slump. That you might have all your uh, stuff around you, living around. You got all this stuff everywhere, but you only have one body, and I realize that you can change some things in your life for the better by consistently exercising. Doesn't have to be crazy. Just walking, even 3 blocks down the road and back. But the main thing I've learned too, also on the diet, to get your labs right, diet is uh, paramount as far as getting your labs looking good. So that's about all I got to say on this little video. I just thought maybe it could help some old veterans like myself that are kind of struggling with stuff. I was also a Marine at the Camp Lejeune base during the water contamination, and if you got any questions on that, I mean, I got a couple answers. I know that a lot of us have got some things that have happened over the years. I was recently uh, had a CMP exam. A little nervous about that, for the disability and compensation hearing. But I will say one thing: if you were stationed at Camp Lejeune, I think it's important, very important, for you, for your family, to really look into it. Don't try to go it alone. Contact either maybe even a VSO, or contact a lawyer that'll take it without killing you on the fees. But shop around and stuff. But don't let it just if something's going on with you and you were there and you don't feel right, contact somebody that can help you out. All right. Thanks for watching. If you like, you can subscribe, like my little video, or just click away and never come back. All right. Thanks. Have a good one.